Welcome to World Dairy Expo 2016, and from my perspective, it is a beautiful morning. Thanks everyone for coming out. We are thrilled to have so many friends and family and Expo stakeholders and exhibitors as a part of our opening ceremonies, unplanned event there. I'm Scott Bentley, and I'm the General Manager of World Dairy Expo, and I will be making a few brief comments before I pass on the microphone. 50 years ago in 1967, in September of 1967, the first World Food Exhibition was held right here on this campus at the Alliant Energy Center. And today we proudly stand before you throughout this day and throughout this week as the world's finest dairy trade show and as the world's finest dairy cattle show. The road has not been easy. The journey has had many twists and turns along the way, but through passion and dedication, perseverance and leadership, support and commitment from our board, the organization, and certainly this great community, here we are today, and we are proud of the brand of World Dairy Expo. This morning we are here to salute all of the enthusiasts and stakeholders that have made World Dairy Expo possible through the years, and that certainly includes each and every one of you. And I would like to introduce first, as we pass the microphone, a very important individual representing the County of Dane and Dane County right here in Madison, County Executive Joe Parisi, to make a few comments. Joe.
Thank you, Scott. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's really great to be here this morning to celebrate this show that has grown from humble beginnings to one of the largest trade shows on the planet. Not just one of the trade shows in the state or the nation, but an international event that gets the world's attention focused right here in Dane County, Wisconsin, on our county, one of the leading dairy counties in the whole United States, and on America's dairy land, the state of Wisconsin. You know, we could talk a lot about the economic impact that this show has for our region and our state and how important that is. I like to focus on the partnership that has brought us to where we are today and that has kept World Dairy in Dane County and in the state of Wisconsin. As you know, a few years ago, our facilities were getting a little run down. World Dairy had grown to international proportions and was being wooed by people from around the country, asking them to come and have their show in a different state. And World Dairy could have gone anywhere, but instead they came to us and they said, we want to stay here in Dane County, we want to stay in Wisconsin, we want to work with you. And work with us they did. We put together a partnership between Dane County, World Dairy, the private sector, and the state of Wisconsin that resulted in world-class facilities right behind me, the New Holland Pavilions. This has allowed World Dairy to stay here, to continue to grow here. It has helped us locally, and it keeps the international focus on our state. And it's created one of the premier destinations in the nation. And again, we could not have done this without the partnership. And one of the most important partners in this whole discussion and keeping World Dairy here has been the state of Wisconsin, and in particular, State Ag Secretary Ben Bransell. Ben and I and our chiefs of staffs had many meetings when we were looking at making sure we could keep World Dairy here. And I don't know if we could have done it without Ben. He's an amazing guy. He's a farmer. He understands the industry. He understands this state. He understands that you have to get together and create partnerships, and when you do, you can do great things. And I think what we're celebrating here today is quite an example of that. So it's, ladies and gentlemen, it's really an honor of mine to be able to introduce my friend, State Ag Secretary Ben Bransell. Thank you.
Good morning, cow lovers. 50 years in the making. What a day. What a great day. I think there's some people around here that probably are shedding tears today. They never had any idea that their dream would end up looking like this. When they started out with a few hundred animals, a lot of enthusiasm, a couple of commercial exhibitors, and a little bit of effort, I don't think they ever believed that it would turn out to be what it is today. The reason it's here is because of that cow. Those people that had this dream didn't believe that that cow had the setting that it was necessary to have back years ago. So today, when you look around and you see the people involved, they're the ones that carried on the dream. They're the ones that made it a reality. They're the ones that made all that it is today what it is. So a 50-year celebration in recognition of the commercial exhibitors, the dairymen that bring their cattle here, the people that support it, the volunteers, and even the food vendors, all makes it what it is today. And my comment is to the international community, they haven't seen anything till they come to Madison, Wisconsin and experience World Dairy Expo. This is where it happens. This is where they can find their true reality and they can live out their dreams. Let me tell you one little story, two little stories. I was a junior in high school. I came to the very first one. My dad wanted to know why I was coming down here. I said, well, you know, I like to fool around with my calves at home. I'm going to go down there. And unfortunately, I thought I had money back home, so I bid and I bought a heifer calf on the very first sale. So I had to run back home and explain to my dad I had bought this calf and I came back here. That was my start. A year ago, I met a gentleman from Pakistan. He was with a delegation that was coming through, and I heard from one of the early ones that this was one of the most elderly people in his community, and his dream had always been to come to Madison to World Dairy Expo. And I walked over to him and I said to him in English, I don't even know if he could understand, miracles do happen. And tears streamed from his eyes that he got to experience in his lifetime coming to World Dairy Expo in Madison, Wisconsin. That's what it's all about. That's how we build relationships. That's how we make a difference. And that's how the dairy industry stays strong and vibrant here in the state of Wisconsin, in the U.S., and around the world for all that desire food. Thank you very much for allowing me to have a couple of minutes at the mic this morning. I'd like to introduce to you Al Deming, President of the Board of World Dairy Expo.
Thank you, Ben. Certainly it is a very, very exciting year for all stakeholders of World Dairy Expo. Our cattle exhibitors, our commercial exhibitors, our attendees, the expo enthusiasts, our staff, our over 500 volunteers. Everyone is here to celebrate a 50-year journey to an event that has grown to become the dairy industry's place to meet in October. In 1965, dairy pioneers had a vision of something great. As Joe and Ben had already commented, the World Food and Agricultural Foundation's humble beginnings in 1967 would someday attract more than 70,000 dairy enthusiasts from nearly 100 countries, attendees who come to visit with more than 875 commercial exhibitors to learn more from the dairy seminars, the virtual farm tours, and to see almost 2,500 of North America's very, very best cattle grace the colored shavings of World Dairy Expo. It has been a very strong partnership, as Joe and Ben have alluded to, Joe Parisi and Dane County and Ben and the state of Wisconsin, with World Dairy Expo and others that have made this campus become what it is today. In 1995, together we worked to build a 255,000 square foot exhibition hall. Then in 2014, the New Holland pavilions that are behind me, a place for us to house most of our cattle that we exhibit here today, in 2 buildings that make up 290,000 square feet with excellent ventilation, with state-of-the-art equipment all the way through our milking parlor and all of those things. Then if you look across the street over next to the Coliseum, in 1967, the Icon Globe, a gift to World Dairy Expo in honor of its inaugural year, stands as a symbol of World Dairy Expo's impact on the world. Something I didn't know until just a few years ago is the globe stands idle all during the year until World Dairy Expo comes around, and then it starts to spin. It spins to remind us of 50 years of tradition as the global dairy industry meets here to celebrate here in October. In celebration of World Dairy Expo's golden anniversary, we are pleased to share a new gift, what we hope to become an icon that will be the next 50 years and beyond of World Dairy Expo. It is approaching that time, and ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Miss Madison. Lori Brook, will you please unveil Miss Madison to this group of dairy enthusiasts? This masterpiece is a compilation of the 7 breeds exhibited here at World Dairy Expo. It represents Expo's storied past and exciting future. And it certainly wouldn't have been possible without a very talented team of Cora Stone Company here in Madison. There are several members from Cora back there. Please raise your hands and let's give them a big, big round of applause. She is the brainstorm of the Expo staff, and truly, her mother who saw her through her creation is Lori Brook, and Lori is standing over here. Let's give Lori a big, big round of applause. Lori is our dairy cattle show coordinator. She is the one that's really responsible for nurturing Miss Madison along. Miss Madison started as a 47,000-pound piece of Dakota mahogany that was 10 feet long, 6 feet high, and 3 feet wide, which Lori selected from a quarry in Midland, South Dakota. Miss Madison is now a very petite 6,900-pound lady. The total carving was accomplished with robots running 5 weeks, 24 hours a day to do the carving. She is and has an international flair, as there was people that were trained in Germany that worked on her. The artists that worked on her were trained in Germany, as well as an Italian artist was used to carve her legs to support her 6,900 pounds. She stands on Mendota Green. Again, let's give a very warm welcome to Miss Madison and thank Lori for all she's done to create her. A special thanks goes to each and every one of you here this morning for helping World Dairy Expo grow into the premier dairy show that it has become. And with that, it is my pleasure as president of our board of directors to declare the 50th World Dairy Expo officially open.